Welcome, everybody. It is great to see all of you here. You showed up on this Irma Day, Irma Anniversary Day. And I think that for all intents and purposes, you're in the right place, right? It's about getting the foundation to move on, as opposed to just simply living in the past. It's gone, and it's about getting a foundation to move on. And so, literally, that is what the Forge is about. It's about providing a solid foundation for businesses to propel themselves into success. And we have started the Forge more than a year ago, but Irma derailed us. So like you, the Forge is rebuilding. And we exist to draw out the purposes of entrepreneurs' hearts and to turn them into successful business. That's why we're here. That's why we exist. So all of us have a purpose in our heart, and where appropriate, we want to draw it out, and we want to turn it into a successful business. And one of the things that we know about success is that all of us need a coach to be successful. Truly successful, you need a coach. You need somebody who's ahead of you to really show you the way. That's how you get exponential success. So that's what the Forge would like to do, is really be a community whereby you guys can have your ideas germinate, put structure around them, and through collaboration and other matters, make those ideas into successful businesses. So what I want to do is, first of all, is show you a little clip that sort of summarizes what Forge is all about, and then we'll go on to some specifics about today. Great, that's a good summary of what the Forge is about. And one of the things that I want to really stress about the Forge in terms of our scope and in terms of our look, in terms of what we want to try and achieve, it is international in focus. And as you become a part of what we do and who we are as a community, you will see that a key focus for us is not to look only at what can happen in the BVI, but what can happen in the region and what can happen on a global stage. And we've done a lot of work already on trying to get access and provide access to a global stage for you, our members. Rajiv and I, who is the financial controller within MWM, have been on the road. We've been to Aruba, we've been to Jamaica, we've been to Trinidad, we've been to St. Lucia, really looking at things that relate to the financing of you, and things that relate to putting you on a regional and then hopefully on a global stage. Later on this month, I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to a global angel networking function to see how we can bring global financing to entrepreneurs, not only here, but in the region. So we're thinking global. And so one of the things that we want for you as our Forge members is not to think local only. Come on, you have to start there, build a foundation, but then begin to think global. And so that's important. What I want to speak to you today specifically is about our Access membership program. It's a program that we're going to start with for the Forge that gets the whole Forge networking and ecosystem started. We will start there, but I want to tell you that it will evolve. Because eventually our members will be able to sit next door when the companies that are there roll out and go back to their spaces. And then we're also building a 5,000 square foot training facility in Parkwood Pond. So the facilities will emerge, and again, you will see these facilities emerge because we are not thinking local, we are thinking regional, and we're thinking global. And so that's important for you to understand. So what I want to do today is highlight for you some of the components of our Access membership program. And then what I'm going to do is go through in detail some of the programs that you have in your hand, just so you can understand how the program works. Okay, so that's our roadmap for today. So when I just start in terms of the Access Membership Program. So I want to highlight some of the programs of the Access Membership Program. The first one is what we call the Million Cups Program. And that program is part of the Hoffman Foundation. It's a global program. And we are members of this particular program. We're going through the application process and become members. But basically what it does is that it offers our members the opportunity to present their business to a diverse audience. So once a month, all members, a number of them, 2 or 3 of them, will get to present their business to an audience that looks like you, plus that has mentors and has advisors in it. We will develop a mentor network. And what you do is get to present your business for 6 minutes. It may be an aspect of your business that you have a challenge with. You can present it. Or it may be a new direction you want to take your business in. And what will happen is you'll get 6 minutes to present it, and then you'll get 20 minutes of the audience critiquing and giving you advice around it, right? And so we think it's an excellent program. It's a program that has run globally, and it's a very successful program. You'll come in the morning. It's from 9 to 10. We may set a different time because 9 to 10 is when they meet globally. So you'll be among a grouping globally. It's a Wednesday. Basically, we provide coffee and a few danishes. You get up and make your pitch. It'll probably be 3 people making pitches that day. And basically, you get feedback on what you're presenting. So think about it. You have a problem in marketing, you present it, what you're trying to do, or you're having roadblocks in social media, you present it, and then the audience gives you feedback on what you've presented. It's 1 million cups of coffee being drunk at the same time between 9 and 10 globally. It's just dramatic. Okay, it's coffee time. So that's what that's about. We have another program we call Celebration Fridays. We have it in our firm. We have Celebration Fridays. And all members of the community will gather 2 Fridays a month to share their wins for the period. And that's where you get an opportunity to hear well done or good job. You know, so oftentimes when we are entrepreneurs and we have wins, there's nobody to share it with. But you know, to share it and hear somebody tell you, good job, you're on the right track, it's just a booster. And this is a program that is done a lot in different co-working spaces. Some people do it with tequila shots. Every win, you take a tequila. I think what we'll do here is we'll have what will we have? Champagne. We'll have champagne. She will have champagne, I'll have cider. But for those who drink champagne, we'll have champagne. For those who drink wine, we'll have wine. And maybe even for those who drink tequila, we'll have tequila. But the idea really is for you to get in community and to share your win and for somebody to celebrate it with you. People have great wins, but you know, sometimes they don't have the people to celebrate it with you. And sometimes you have great wins, and when you share it, you don't get the response you're really looking for, you know? In business, sometimes jealousy kicks in, or whatever the case is. They want to share your successes with you. But everyone here will be doing their own thing, and hopefully you get the response that you need. So it's that boost to move your business forward. Another program we'll have is the Mwm Mentor Hour. Once a month, you know, the leaders in our organization will come and we'll sit in that conference room. And from time to time, we'll bring other experts besides ourselves, and you can just ask questions. We'll tell you the general topics that we'll cover, if that's an interest to you. It may be, how do you form companies? It may be business plans. It may be something to do with a legal question, leases, or whatever the case is. We'll spend an hour, if it's of interest to you, and then we'll just share with you, right? So I think that's a great opportunity to get a little bit more intimate and mentorship in terms of you know, where you're going and the issues that you may have in your business. So that's one of the programs we'll have. We'll also have Lunch and Learn Business Know-How. Gold members and above will have opportunity to learn from experts how-tos. So how to apply for a trade license. I just had a set of people in our offices and they didn't have a clue how to apply to a trade license. They went around the BVI to different firms and everybody told them something different. They went to trade department and depending on who they spoke to in trade, they got a different response to the same question, right? And so it's very frustrating. And so we'll have those sessions of how to apply for a trade license. Work permit, the rules seem to change every day. And if you don't have access to someone who can really show you the ropes, a work permit that might be able to take a month might take 6 months, and so on and so forth. So we'll have things like that. How to apply for duty exemption. Some businesses, depending on their nature, can apply for duty exemption through the encouragement of industries piece of legislation. Who here knows that there's something called encouragement of industries legislation? Anybody knows? Okay, there's 2-3 people, okay, but not enough hands, okay? So you learn those things that can help to propel your business. And so we'll have those once a month, how to, and we'll tell you the topic. And if it is of interest to you, then you can come and really understand how to in that particular circumstance. We also have the MWM Investment and Loans Program. We have a program whereby you can start an investment account with MWM, that's Rajiv's area, and you save money as usual. And then after a certain point, you'll get an opportunity to borrow twice what you saved, up to twice what you saved. So if you saved 1,000, you can borrow up to 2,000. If you save 3,000, you can borrow up to 6,000. And I said up to because we're going to look at your circumstances to make sure that you can borrow twice of what you've actually saved. So that's a program that we want to have make available to our members. And then we have the MWM Business Networking. We as a firm have networking events. And what we do is we invite entrepreneurs onto those events, and they actually get to present their product, display their product, and sell their products or services. And we found it to be actually quite successful, where people get to introduce themselves and their companies, because at those events, we only invite CEOs and leaders of businesses. So it's an opportunity to present your business to leaders of industry within the British Virgin Islands, typically within the financial services sector and the construction industry. Those are the two industries we focus on. And so if you're a member at a certain level, you get to be presented on that stage. Then we have high value networking, and our platinum members will be given exclusive opportunity to meet what we call our Forge's elite partners and associates. And we've seen that work tremendously successful in the past. Chad had an opportunity to meet one of our elite partners, a gentleman out of Bermuda, who introduced him to one of the senior vice president of which of the companies? Western Union. He got to meet one of the senior vice president of Western Union. And then Treffel, at one of our events, met Kurt Richardson. And today, she is able to produce her design on the full suite of Otter products. And so that came out of a networking event. She met him, they had a conversation. He invited her to go to Colorado. She had the fortitude to go to Colorado. Sometimes you must make that extra step. He presented her to his design team. They liked what they saw, and boom. Now she is on the suite of products for Otterbox. And so in every Verizon store in the country of the United States. So those are things that can happen on the platform. Because remember, what we're trying to do here is to have a community, and it don't have to happen at that level. It could just happen at your level. And we're gonna give you examples of that, in terms of what happens even at your level. Because you don't need to meet Kurt Richardson and go there if you're not ready. That doesn't make sense. So there are a lot of stuff that happen even at your level. Yes. And again, you don't have to start at the top. You can start wherever makes sense for you at this particular moment, right? But we're going to make sure you have opportunities at all levels. That's the key. Wherever you are, we'll make sure you have opportunities at all levels. We have the Forge Partnership Program, which is a very important program because what it does, it allows you to be on the platform and to take your products and services and introduce them to major companies and organizations in the BVI on a preferred basis. So, who are members in this program? Harney's, Right Way, the Pear Park, Bobby's Supermarket, Social Security Board, to name a few. And so what does the program look like? We have basically established with them that all Forge members will become preferred vendors on their vendor listing. Right? So when they have a particular product or service that they need to source locally, that they'll look at our Forge members on a preferred basis to source their products and services from. In a Bobby's Supermarket, what does this look like? For a week or 2 weeks, you get to put your products on his shelf in his supermarket and at Right Way. That's what it looks like. When Peter Allen was up, we had it where Govey won that prize, and he was able to basically, display his cakes in their store, so that people can see from who wants to do weddings and the like, right? And so I think it's a very valuable program, and I really hope that people take advantage of it. We'll have a day where the entrepreneurs who are part of that program can display their products. We won't do it here. We'll probably get a tent downstairs and invite the partners to come and meet you, so that they can decide who they really want to do business with. Okay, but I think is a very, very, very important program. So they're scattered through the levels, and not to worry. I think that whatever level you're on, we're going to make sure that you have opportunities to advance and grow your business. That's the whole key to what we're trying to do. One of the things that we have done as a firm is that we have prepared ourselves to serve you. So how have we done that? Number one is we got certified to deliver training. So we're not just going to come to you with training that we just made up. We got certified to do it, to deliver it. That's number one. Number two, we became part of an organization, the Caribbean Microfinance Alliance. It's a consortium of companies and financial institutions across the region who provide microfinancing to businesses and to individuals. And we are a part of that organization. So that's very important. And we didn't just become a part of the organization. Rajiv and I and another member of the team actually went to Jamaica to learn best practice. How do they do it? How do they structure it? How do they set it up? And then we also went to Trinidad to learn exactly what they do also. So we learned in Jamaica and we learned in Trinidad. So that's one of the things that we have done. Excuse me? First Angels Jamaica. The other one we've done is we are in the process of making application to a grouping called First Angels Jamaica. They are a grouping angel investors. They're angel investor grouping in the region. They're probably the most organized in the region. And we are going to become members of First Angel Investors. Rajiv and I went to St. Lucia, where we saw people make pitches. And basically, that grouping is beginning to help one or two of them really finding the funding and do the partnering that they need in order to be successful. First Angel Jamaica also basically acts as a mentor to companies who want to get listed on the Jamaica Junior Stock Exchange. So we're going to become a part of that organization. In September, there is a regional meeting of angel investors in the region in Trinidad, and we're going to be attending that meeting in Trinidad. So we are preparing ourselves as an organization to make sure that we have the tools and the resources and the contacts that would help you to be successful. One of the things that we discussed in St. Lucia, I don't know where it's going to go, but how does entrepreneurs really get their business out of this little island to really be successful? And we were brainstorming about how it is we do that. One thing, for instance, is maybe to establish like an Amazon within Miami, where there'll be a central warehouse that is shared between the different islands in the region, and entrepreneurs can bring their product there. And then when people actually want to request the products, it basically gets distributed back into the region or out to the United States or the world from Miami. And so we're kind of brainstorming in terms of how each island can have a key investor grouping that would invest and will pool our resources to make it happen for the region. And so that's something that we're exploring, all right? Another thing that you have to understand is that we are part of a network that includes Kurt Richardson. I haven't spoken about him to some of you. And Kurt Richardson is the owner of Otterbox. He is a serial entrepreneur. But the important thing is that as you do and become successful, we can leverage his organization and the things that he can do to help you. So a good example, I mentioned Christine, but a good example would also be Akeem Leonard, who was one of our Biz Pitch winners who went up to Colorado, met with Kurt and his team, and they created for him a mold for zincs. And so he can be able to produce those in a mass way rather than having to do one individually all the time. So those are things that has happened for people on the platform, and that's just some examples of things that have happened. So, the idea is for us to create a community. We are playing our role in equipping ourselves so that we can be facilitators in the community. And the idea is that not only are just we facilitators, but you are facilitators too, because you can give us advice. You guys are experts in your own field that you can give us advice on. One of the things that we sometimes take for granted, and I think Rajiv and I noticed it as we went around the region, is how really advanced we are in the entrepreneurial space when compared to the region. And I think Chad's success in Curacao helps to prove that. Him and Lynette, who's also part of the Forge, did very well in Curacao. Right after Irma, one of the things that community allows you to do, I was really concerned about the entrepreneurs, and I kind of put my arms around them and took them up to my house. And we spent a little time there crying on each other's shoulders and, not knowing if we're going to make it at that time, and just really being a support for each other. And so part of community is really supporting each other during tough times, or during the highs and during the lows, so that you stay on an even keel moving forward. And so that was really great. And our firm took the lead in doing a fundraiser for entrepreneurs. And Dame basically was the one who spearheaded that from a videography point of view. And Alex was one of the stars in that video. So we, and together with Akeem. And so we're doing a lot to make sure that entrepreneurial community, keeps growing. What I want to do now is just quickly go through what the program looks like. I was trained for a year by Lisa Nichols. I am a product of Lisa Nichols, very much so. Those of you who know Lisa Nichols. And she said, never leave the room until you do your sale. So we're in the sales mode. And she taught me, and I've been teaching Rajiv lately. She says that, don't be afraid to sell, because whatever you're selling is like being a doctor, is somebody's medicine that they need in order to move forward. If you look at it from that perspective, you never feel ashamed selling, all right? Because somebody needs it. So what I want to do is go through the various levels that we spoke about, and really, so you can understand it. We have a bronze membership. The bronze membership is really for somebody who has their own business, they have their own space, but want to be part of community. You want to be a part of the community, and so that's that's what you get for the bronze membership. You come into the community from time to time when you need to. You may have a space, but you don't have the kind of conference room facilities that we have, and you need to use it from time to time. You have an international guest coming, and your facilities may not be the kind that you would want to bring them to as a first impression. You can bring them to your community here. You want to do international video conferencing, we have those facilities here. So you don't need it day to day, but you want to be a part of the community, be a part of the networking activities and all of those kinds of things. The silver membership really is for the person who have lost their business and need some place to sit down from time to time. And so that's the silver membership. In that membership, you have access to the co-working space, the lounge area here, coffee and tea service, access to the conference room facilities, and the training programs that Rajiv described to you. You get 2 of those for free as part of your package, right? So you choose 2. And typically you get access to those programs once you've been here for at least 6 months, right? Then you have access to 2 of those programs in terms of your silver membership. Your gold membership, really you want to jump in. You want to be a part of the community. You want to take advantage of all the community have to offer when you become a gold member. So you have access to everything that the silver and bronze member have access to. You have access to 3 of the training courses. You're eligible for listing on the partnership program that I told you about, partnership program. You get to participate in a biz pitch competition that the winner gets to go to Colorado for 1 week, all expense paid, to be a part of what they call the Fort Collins Startup Week. That's where Akeem went, as an example. And the last winner was Chanel Evans, and she was in Colorado with a number of other people recently. Eligibility to participate in the MWM Business and Forge networking events, participation in the Forge business know-how sessions. All these things I'm racing through because I've been through them with you. The know-how sessions, eligibility to apply for funding after you finish the business certification, funding certification, and eligibility to be a part of our investment plan programs where you can borrow up to 2 times what you put in. Now, that's important for us because we need to keep an eye on you in the community. And to make sure that you're growing in the community. So you don't get to borrow money and not be a part of the community. The borrowings are for members of our community to provide funding for them. Platinum membership, you get advantage of everything, plus you get to do a biz pitch for $10,000. So that's what you get as part of being a platinum member. And you get eligibility to be a part of the high networking events. So we'll have events that the regular membership wouldn't get invited to. It might be a dinner. It might be, we had the fortune, we ain't showing off, I'm just telling you what happens in the community, where one of our partners brought his mega yacht down, and we got to spend an evening on his yacht. And that's the person who eventually, Chad was able to go meet with the senior vice president for Western Union. It came out of that event. He got to know him, he met him, he spoke to him, he felt comfortable in introducing him to a senior vice president of Western Union. That's how that happened. So those kinds of things will happen to our platinum members. Executive platinum members get everything that everybody else gets, plus they get access to our mentorship program, and they get access into our organization to get advice from time to time on things that they need. Alex has done that. Chad dips in like crazy. And so that's something that you get. And then there are discounts along the way. We have application forms here, and we like to encourage you to fill them out. because when you leave, it's sometimes hard to get back a hold of you. But I tell you so in honest because I think what we have to offer it's going to be valuable for you. And we want you to become a part of the community.